Okay. So, okay, we are technically live. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. All right. And that is there's like so many to go kits and first aid kits and yada yada that you could have. So we thought we would just like start going over them like sort of like one at a time. Okay. So I have my actual to go kit here for my dogs that sits near the garage door that I just pick them up, put them in the car and go. Okay.
So basically, your evacuation kit.
My evacuation kit for my dogs. All right. And the kit doesn't, some of the items for my kit could belong there. They could belong someplace else. It's just where I've chosen to put the stuff. Okay.
Mhm.
So I have two containers like this,
Okay.
really lightweight. Okay. I got them at Walmart. They were probably $3 a piece. If I paid that, I don't remember. Maybe they were $2 a piece. But you can get decent storage containers at places like Walmart that you can use. I like this particular size because it's big enough to put stuff in, but yet small enough to actually carry.
Right.
So I can carry the two of them. I can stack them two at a time and bring them into the car. Okay. So this is kit. Now this is the first half of it. So what's in this particular kit? This is some of my food stuff. Okay. And keeping in mind, if it's food, you have to rotate it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you have a bag of treats here that's 4 or 5 years old, and yeah, it's just not the same. Okay.
Is it in its original packaging?
In its original packaging.
Okay.
Okay. My dogs are very fond of these. So there's always these in the house, different varieties. Okay. And once a month, I rotate them. I come over here, I'll put these into their stash, take out 4 fresh ones, put them back in here. Okay. Same thing with this particular bag of treats.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I used to feed those.
Yeah. Cecil's over here moaning because this is his bag here in the office. And he comes over in the evening, like, where are my snacks? So again, anything that you put in as far as food is concerned, make sure it's something that they like,
Yeah.
right? Something that they're used to, something that they like, something that they're going to eat, right? And this is meant. What's in here is all not meant for like weeks and weeks and weeks. If I'm evacuating, it's what 3 days. You should think
Minimum three.
3 days, 3 to a week. All right. I probably have at least a week worth of stuff here. Okay. I also have, when I get these at the vet, now the vet at the pet store, I'm for like types of food that my dogs like. Already in little baggies. They give these out. These are free. All right. So I'll have a bunch of those. Look at that. Got some open farm ones too.
No.
Okay. And I just went through this like 2 weeks ago. Okay. Wipes,
Mm-hmm.
food and water dishes.
Mm-hmm.
I like the stainless steel. They're easier to clean. They're not plastic. So it isn't like plastics that can hold things in, but the stainless steel don't. Again, easier to clean. Um, and this is what I think I was touching on. I think last time. Okay, these are called canine masks.
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 of them, one for each of my dogs. And these are probably the nicest face masks I've seen for dogs.
Okay.
Um, if you're in an area that has volcanoes or wildfires, they have little filters for them. And it's probably the nicest constructed ones that I've seen. I got some really cheap ones that I got off of Amazon,
Uh-huh.
which I'm not 100% certain on how well they actually work. But
So it's not open for them to be able to stick their tongue out, or is it?
no, it's not.
Okay.
Okay, it has a little zipper here. All right, that's I guess where we'll put the filter in here. It's not meant as a muzzle. It's meant for going through fire where the air quality is poor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that's very temporary. I don't have this for me. Just saying.
Yeah, but how many times do we do that? I do stuff for my dogs way before I do it for myself.
But I have them for my dog.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it on here. I also have a pair of scissors in here. And I'll put this back together. The second one. And it's spray. Poop bags,
Always important.
always important. And what I like about the poop bags is I don't generally walk my dogs too much. And if I do, I'm using like vegetable bags from the supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
Get these for free at the big pet conferences.
Yeah, it's true. Everybody hands those out.
You know, that's Pooh Bear. Garbage bags, Lysol wipes, another thing of wipes, and their main food. Unopened bag, original packaging. Again, every month I go in and I rotate any kind of food. But my dogs like this, so therefore they're eat. You know what's not in here, which it should be in here, but it's actually in another of my to-go boxes, is pet health paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
The health certificates for
Right.
3 of my dogs just need health certificates. And it's a sheet of paper your vet should just print it out for you. And basically what it is the last time you were at the vet and what their vaccination status is on any of the rabies, lepto, whatever. Okay, one sheet of paper. Cecil, however, has something much thicker than that. He has his lab work because he's diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he's going in on Thursday to get new blood work done. They're doing the blood glucose curve on him. And so after they do that and they get the new labs, they'll make a copy of it for me and I'll get updated health certificates for the dogs. And that'll go into the other thing that I have that has like important paperwork. So it has anything important as far as my business is concerned, my book for my business, checks, any credit cards, where I stash some cash, passports, that sort of thing. That's in another container that has important paperwork. So whatever is important as far as paperwork is concerned, all right, it should be easy to grab and go. Now, if somebody would want to keep the paperwork in the house, do you have any suggestions about leaving it? How they might store that?
Store their paperwork
Yeah,
as far as the important papers.
yeah. If they just are running out of time and they didn't put it together, so now they don't want to spend time looking for it.
I mean, I usually put important paperwork in a fireproof safe.
Okay. Fireproof safe is a good. There, I'm going to bust a myth, and that is putting important paperwork in your dishwasher.
I've never heard that one.
Oh yeah, so for people who are in flooded areas, put paperwork in a dishwasher, and that'll protect the paperwork should your house get flooded. Yeah, that's a big no.
I was gonna say that doesn't even make sense to me.
Well, no. Well, the thing is, it's waterproof on the sides because water's going through it. But what they forget is the intake and outtake
Right.
on it. So
Right.
yeah, a dishwasher is just not going to cut it for your important paperwork.
Yeah.
A fireproof safe might.
Yeah, that's, I don't know if it's waterproof, leak proof, but you can always put the papers inside a waterproof baggie and then put that in your fire safe. That would keep it no matter what happened.
So, again, the better prepared you are. Is anything else here that's in my now? All the other thing that's not here is water.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a case of Smart Water that lives in my car. That's also rotated from time to time as well.
Yeah.
Not as often as I do the food, but still on a regular basis.
Yeah. Well, for a go bag, you just got to think of it like this, especially when you're preparing. You need a minimum of 3 days worth of food and 3 days worth of water, 3 days worth of supplies. If your dog had medications, you want to put extra medications in your go bag as well. I always suggest put some sort of money. Now, at one point I was saying do cash, but the last time that I checked into a hotel, they didn't accept cash. More and more places aren't accepting cash. Then it's a matter of putting in maybe, talking to the bank, seeing if you can get a spare debit card or get a credit card and maybe store that in your go bag. Just because if you gotta grab it and go, you're not going to really have time to go into your wallet and search for that stuff. And then you're going to be able to get out. Then where you go, and I've seen it where people go to check in and now they have no access to their monies. So I would definitely put that in the go bag as well. And it doesn't hurt to put a little, like if you were to have a go bag for yourself, definitely put something in there. But like you've got all your pet stuff separately, it wouldn't hurt to put a little something in there as well, because you don't know in those situations what exactly are you going to be able to grab. And if you're only able to grab one over the other, at least you're prepared either way.
Right. Which is like some things are permanently left in the car and other things are not.
Right.
Okay? Because the food has to be swapped out on a monthly basis. I don't want to keep it in the car because then I got to bring it in the car, unload it, remember to do it. But where I keep all the to-go stuff is in the laundry room, which means I'm walking past it at least once, twice a day. So that when it comes time to it's been about a month, I need to swap out and change out food. It's in the forefront of my mind rather than sitting in my car where all of a sudden 6, 7, 8 months have passed and I haven't. Yeah, you know how that goes, right?
I do. My memory is awful. I have to set alarms for everything or write it down in 15 different places, and I still forget. But some of the foods, though, there are some foods that are out there, not necessarily probably of your preference or my preference, but there is food out there that would be that just because of the preservative in the food. So you would still have to sit here and look at expiration dates, but they have a tendency to last a much longer period of time.
Yeah. So anything that's food related, make sure you check in the expiration dates on it. And we're going to take our little commercial break and then we'll get back with more go bag stuff. You ready?
Ready.
Are you tired of putting off your emergency and disaster planning manual? Look no further. This 67-page fillable template will make the process a breeze. Simply fill in the blanks for your business and gain access to checklists for supplies, common hazards, debriefing, evacuation and shelter-in-place protocols, resources, recovery, maintenance, as well as best intake practices. It's time to take action and be prepared. Get your copy today at positiveed.com/books.
Okay, so what's also to go, all right, are things for yourself too. And this is where, again, some of the things that make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a clothing bag that has a change of clothes for me and my husband, but I also have then in that bag stuff for the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be sweaters in there. Um, there's always what lives permanently in my car are sweaters. So if you see me and you're cold, I guarantee you there's an extra sweater in my car. So change of clothes, some toiletries, most of which that I have like basically taken from hotels.
Yeah.
Okay, thrown them in there. So enough again for that 3 day, maybe 2 days worth of clothes. We'll stink for a day.
Hey, maybe you can kind of wash it depending on where you're at.
Yeah, depending on where we're at, we're looking for that hotel,
Right.
that possibly has the washer dryer, so you can throw stuff in. Okay. Also, collars. So my dogs don't wear collars in the house. They don't wear anything that can get caught on something. They only wear their collars and their harnesses when we're going out. And so that's how they know it as. The collars come out, ooh, we're going somewhere. Okay. And it doesn't seem to matter where we're going. They're okay with just going someplace. Okay. Which it makes it nice because if I just pull the collars out, I'm going to have 4 dogs right next to me.
Right.
Time to leave. And also in one of these things, I think the other one is a magic marker.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I can write my phone number on the belly of any of my dogs.
Yeah.
And also what permanently lives in my car is an extra hairbrush.
See, it's all those little things. It's like when right now everything is calm, you think about it, but really ultimately, would you have thought about that?
No, we never thought if it wasn't in this goal, I would never remember to have a hairbrush.
Right.
There are so many times I'll head out in the morning to go somewhere and I'm like, did I brush my hair today? Remember if I brushed my hair.
I don't tend to have that problem, but
Yeah. Usually it's short enough, and now it's starting to get a little bit long, and I'm like a couple of weeks away from a haircut. So, anyway, anything you want to add to that for like personal stuff?
Again, it's another one of those things. Like if you're going to go through and you're going to put a bag together, at least 3 days worth of supplies. And what could you live without for 3 days? And that's where you have to remember too, obviously you're not going to be looking your best of the best. So just get those essential supplies that you're going to need. And like I said, it's a minimum of 3 days. It could be more than that,
Right. I also have like food in the car. And again, that has to be rotated out. And that stays in the car because they're all canned goods. And so I don't replace them or rotate them nearly as often as I do with the dog stuff. Again, you know what? So much more concerned with the freshness of my dog's food.
I know. So, it's so funny. I got emergency food for me, and that's emergency food that, is dehydrated. It can last up to 25 years. It's emergency food. But, for my dogs, I'm always like, well, what would be the freshest of the fresh that's still going to be able to be in the bag? And that's why sometimes, I have to be, at this point, I have to be really picky about what I feed my dogs because of their health issues. And so it's harder for me to really kind of have that emergency stash just because of their specialty diet, that for their emergency stash, I do have to break down and get the kibble version of what they would be able to eat. Because in that type of situation, anything in that regard, anything is going to be better than nothing.
Yeah. So, like for myself, okay, for the dogs, it's a stressful event. If they're not, if you're really doing a lot of upheaval for them, the best, the, the more you can make it as less stressful for them, easier to be on their stomach. There'll be less diarrhea, less GI upset. So keeping their food what they normally eat is important. I know the food that is in that emergency kit for myself in the car is probably not the most nutritious of food.
But in that, in the worst of the worst situation, if it's going to get you the nutrients that you need to keep going, then we can't be picky.
No, and it's all food I'll eat.
Mhm.
And that's another thing. Putting together a list of food for emergencies that you don't like just to have is a little counterproductive too.
Well, it is. And that's the thing too, when I was putting together my emergency stash, right away you think of dehydrated items and you're thinking, well, I'll just get dehydrated. But what happens if we don't have enough clean water to be able to rehydrate that?
Yep.
And so that's why I had to do a mix. I had to do a mix of things that required water and some things that didn't require water. As far as the animal emergency food supply, I would definitely put in some probiotic so you can have probiotic on hand. And if anything, at least throw in a can of pumpkin, and that's going to help with GI issues as well.
Okay, now I gotta go check my pumpkin in my pantry because I know there's 2 cans there, but I'll have to check the expiration dates.
Yeah. And again, is because you're checking expiration dates on anything, because even first aid kits, you're going to have expiration dates in that.
Yes.
So as long as you get in the habit, but yeah, I would throw in a can of pumpkin, and that's going to also help with GI issues.
Okay. So get some probiotic and pumpkin in these actual containers to go.
I would, because the expectation is they're going to be under stress, and when they're under stress, then they're probably going to have some sort of GI issue that comes along with that. And so if we can have something in our kit to help combat that, then hopefully we can get them evened out a little bit quicker.
Okay. So we still got a couple of minutes left. Anything you want to add before we move over to Bishop's Mission?
As far as the go bag goes, I like your container idea, but people can also use even just a backpack and throw that in a bag. Just find something that if you needed to. And remember, it's hard to imagine it when we're not in this situation, but if we have to grab it and go, what is going to be the containers that are going to work for you?
Yeah.
And so if it's going to be a backpack, then throw everything in a backpack. If it's going to be a container like yours, then throw it in that type of container, but do something that's going to be convenient that that you're going to be able to grab it and go.
Okay. And know where you're storing it. All right. Store it someplace convenient. Like for me, it's stored in the laundry room, which leads out to the garage where the cars are. Okay.
And it doesn't hurt to have more than one. Like if there was a fire in your house and you weren't able to get to the laundry room, then what's your other exit plan? And do you have anything that you can grab and go along that route?
Oh, I think I might be pretty screwed if that's the case. Because everything is there, important papers and all.
And that's the other thing to kind of think about too. When we're thinking of our plans, just kind of look around and, all right, this is my main route. The door's over there. This is my main route. But what happens, especially this time of year, this is the holidays. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the holidays because we've got real life Christmas trees that people are lighting up, and we have people frying turkeys, and it's a whole bunch of extra stuff that we don't maybe normally do on our day-to-day. So what were to happen if, now in the living room, which would be my main exit route, if I have a tree in there and that tree sets on fire, how else am I going to be able to get out? And do I have anything prepared to be able to grab and go?
So there's no live trees in my house. That's because I have 4 small male dogs who are simply going to view it as, so we're not doing that. I thought I would, I love turkey, and I've never had fried turkey, by the way. Okay. And in Costco, they have like the little fried turkey things, the thing to put the turkey in, and they're not badly priced. But then I go over to YouTube and I watch the videos.
Yeah. I know.
I'm thinking, maybe I don't fry my own turkey.
Maybe it just wasn't supposed to be fried.
I don't know. It's supposed to be phenomenal. I'm just gonna have somebody else fry turkey and bring me turkey.
At their house.
Not my house either.
Too funny.
Yeah. So anyway, YouTube has a lot of really great videos up there to educate you. Okay. And looking at all the mistakes that people with fried turkey. And I'm just thinking, you're boiling oil, a really large container of oil.
Yeah. And that's really all that needs to be said about that. Because that right there should be like, that's probably not a good idea to be doing in the kitchen.
Yeah, I've seen people's front on the video, not me personally, of them putting the turkey into the hot oil, and then the oil splatters and like burns up the porch.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the house.
Yeah.
So then that'll bring back to, do you have a fire extinguisher? Well, would that even help? That's oil. Would a fire extinguisher help with a turkey if the turkey fryer went on fire or caused a fire?
It's going to be better than nothing.
Okay. All right. So have your fire extinguisher or the fire department to your fried turkeys that they're there. I don't know. I think I would like to watch. Yeah, grease fires are no joke. Okay?
No, they're not. And they're fast.
Yes. So I would love to. I wonder, and I'll just put a bee in the bonnet for my local fire department. You know what? Maybe do a class on how to fry a turkey.
And how to fry a turkey. Oh, I'm out. I don't cook.
But here's the thing: they could charge admission, and then we could all eat the fried turkey, not actually have to cook that our own selves, and they don't have to worry about going to someone's house for a fire.
Oh, see, he agrees.
Yeah, that's a good idea, right? So, anyway, now it's on my bucket list is to have fried turkey, but we'll talk about that another time.
Let me know how that goes.
Okay. No, just to be really clear, not cooked here at my own house. Okay. Being invited to someone's house that's cooking it. I'll bring cookies.
And then make sure that you arrive after they say it's done. The turkey's done. Okay, I can come now.
Okay. All right. So just real quick about Bishop's Mission before we wrap up for today. And then we'll be back next week. And I think we'll go over first aid kits next week. Okay, Jennifer here is, by the way, she's in Washington, just so that you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
oh, yeah, there you go. Go camping and do it.
Yeah, but do you want to go camping in a national forest and be responsible for burning down a national forest?
No, but you're in Washington, so try it. I would never do that out here. We would have thousands and thousands of acres being burned.
Okay. All right. Jennifer, something to keep in mind. All right. So again, before we wrap up, where are you with Bishop's Mission right now? I know you have a fundraiser, which, by the way, I got my tickets already.
You did, and the fundraiser was actually on Saturday.
Oh, it passed?
It did.
No, and I didn't win anything.
You didn't, but that's okay. It was very good for one of the first ones. I thought we did really, really well.
Okay.
So I was excited about that.
Okay, cool. So, just real quick for people who are watching for the first time, what is Bishop's mission?
Bishop's Mission is my nonprofit organization, and we go out, we network and work with founders. We work with their peer support groups, and I take Bishop when we offer animal assistance as I am certified for incident stress management. So we will go in and sit in on the debriefs and offer animal assistance. And then we also have a division where we are raising funds to have an emergency plan for first responders and veterans for their service dogs. If I were to have an emergency, they don't have to hopefully make that decision that they'd have to put the dog down because they can't afford emergency care.
All right. So, and the website?
Is www.bishopsmission.org.
Okay. And do you have another upcoming fundraiser coming soon?
I don't have anything right this moment, but yes, we are going to be having some more stuff coming up here pretty soon.
Okay, cool. All right. So we will see everybody next week.